I saw a production of Bond's play in 1973 at Stratford East, and just immediately was taken by it. It wasn't really very scary, but had a lot of charm, and it was sort of creepy. And I looked into the rights, and well, actually, what I did was I met Bond and asked him if I could make a musical out of it, and he said yes. But it was seeing that production. Well, in this case, I was sort of paying an homage to Bernard Herrmann, who was the composer of most of the Hitchcock, many of the Hitchcock pictures of his middle period, anyway. And I'd remembered particularly a movie I'd seen when I was 15 years old called Hangover Square, for which Herrmann had written the music. It took place in Edwardian England, and was very creepy melodrama. And it had the music itself was sort of creepy, and I had that in mind when I was writing this. I just wanted to scare audiences. I thought, see if you can, because it's very hard to scare people in the theater, except turning out the lights and going boo. And I wanted to see if I could do it. Well, sure, but that's the principle of composers like Herman, who wrote such really good scores for movies like Psycho. The tension that he is able to build up, or take John Williams' score for Jaws. The music itself sets the audience's nerves on edge, even if there's nothing going on the screen. And Herman was a master at that. And I wanted to see if I could do that in the theater. And that's why there's so much music in the piece, is that as long as you keep the music going, the audience forgets the melodramatics of the story, and you know what an over-the-top story it is, because it's a pretty wild story. And but if you keep the music going, they will be enthralled and believe what's going on the stage. It's underscoring. It's all about underscoring, and sometimes it's sung, and sometimes it's just underscoring. We had a couple of days of actual rehearsal before going into the recording studio, and that was useful, where we just sat around and sang the songs with a piano, and that's where whatever coaching I could do came in. But they were pretty much on top of the material. There wasn't a lot I had to do. I made some suggestions, but they'd learned the material very well. My reaction to the film is that, unlike almost all musical movies, in fact, I'd say all musicals made from stage, musicals that I've seen, all the movies made from stage musicals that I've seen, I would say that this is really a movie based on a musical. This is not simply, as all the others are, a film of the stage musical. Even when they take certain liberties, as with the movie of Cabaret, for example, it's a film of the stage musical. There is the amount of time spent on a number is the amount of time spent on the stage number. Very seldom are numbers cut down or reshaped to fit the film. The film films the number as written on the stage. That's not the case here. Numbers have been reshaped, changed, cuts have been made, little sections rewritten to make it the movie and not merely a film of the stage musical. That's the essential difference, I think, between this movie musical and others based on stage musicals. I'd say the epiphany, the without giving anything away, what happens during the epiphany, I think, is just really brilliant. What Tim and John Logan did. Yeah, that's I'd say that's certainly a high point for me.